Okay. So I feel like I'm responding to, anyway, Frank Hester, British Conservatives' biggest donor, 10 million quid. He deals in national health equipment, I believe is the word. So how somebody like that becomes personally wealthy at 10 million quid is a good question to ask. Once Diane Abbott, the first black woman elected to Parliament, dead. She makes him, he says, want to hate all black women. She should be shot. Now, these were things that were said, I believe, quite a while ago. I know that she was elected in 1987. I'm not sure when these quotes come from, but they may be 10 to 20 years old. Nevertheless, at this juncture, let's just say that though the headline is old, true, much to be decried, and no surprise, the bit that troubles me is the £10 million. I don't, is there no control over how much individuals can give to government officials, thereby corrupting them? Charlie Hebdo, a satirical magazine attacked by terrorists of Middle Eastern descent in 2015 for drawing and publishing insulting pictures of the Prophet Muhammad. They do satirize all types, Catholics, right-wingers, etc. They're left-wing magazine. Then the Tories are a racist disgrace, says Owen Jones. Unfortunately, Labour are too. Conclusion, Britain is a racist disgrace. Now, what I am finding, in my 68th year, is suddenly there is clearly very, very slim divide between the Democrats, the Republicans, Labour and Tory, which is why I go the third way, relentlessly. And I always have done, in fact. But the exposure of, the Keir Starmer, Joe Biden thing, really the Tony Blair thing, is current and very enlightening. Okay, we're moving right along here, closer and closer. Do Islamic countries have satirical magazines that satirize Christianity, Judaism, and liberal democracies? Do they? I just don't know. That they have a taboo about depiction of their prophet is something we can just override because we have decided that the Western right to snark and satire is what the better civilization allows. It's our freedom of speech. We can say anything we like. One might say weakly sticks and stones, but I'd say that some people like you, decide that beliefs are part of their identity, and mocking those beliefs is very nasty. I'd say a plague on all your casas. I do say that. We assume there are madrasas in Afghanistan where the West is demonized. I've heard of this. Maybe one's in London. I have seen YouTube clips of Islamic hate speech, and I know it by the English subtitles. I do not speak Arabic. I have had also, however, fascinating long face-to-face discussions with Islamic scholars. I don't know whether it's because they know that I'm skeptical and that makes them chuckle a bit. I don't know. I cannot share their belief any more than I can a Catholic bishop's. But the Catholics I have encountered, the higher-ups, and there's been a few, will not discuss. Maybe I was unlucky, but Christianity has always seemed discussion-averse, truly suggesting that believers are seen truly as the flock, and non-believers, non-counter-believers like Baptists, Jews, Muslims, honorary flocks, but that such as I, wolves perhaps, are all disobeying idiots. They might say, as their quarterback is said to have said, "Forgive them, Lord, they know not what they do," but they are nowhere near so strong. There is nothing about Islamic belief that reaches me, but I do see much in this enthusiasm for talking, much that is habitual, healthy, with no intention of convincing me to believe. I'm not comfortable with this crusty Christian reticence. It speaks volumes. Smug mockery is an art form, defensible by civilization and enlightenment habit, but open talk is not. Snark is fine. No politics at the dinner table, which means I am uncomfortable with it, or I am only comfortable with those who agree with me. It is a conclusion arrived at over many years. As I reiterate, I'm not a believer in either God or God, the single God, if they are in fact the same, and that caveat makes me a different discourser. The Muslims I have talked to seem comfortable with this difference, which I interpret as a demonstration of deep respect for me and, more importantly, for themselves. We, the West and Christian cultures, take pride in our freedoms to be satirical, or our liberty to mock. Someone will make fun of my name, for instance. Can I call you Dick? When I curtly say no, the response is, oh, come on, buddy, lighten up, not allowing that I'd not dream of calling him Mike. That I expect to be respected as I respect them. This does seem to be an essential point, but Western culture will say, come on, buddy, lighten up. Or, what you feel, your cultural sensitivities are old and backwards and not deserving of respect. So I have a choice, live in a world that more and more mocks and ridicules or not. Some Georgette might have asked Papa on that morning in 2015 before he went off to the office, Daddy, what do you do at work? And he could have said, my little bonbon, I make fun of other people's beliefs. Why, Papa? Because I am French and free to mock. It's the First Amendment thing, which, absolutely free. Say whatever you like, but try and have a discussion. Try and have a conversation. Try and not even change each other's minds, but just enjoy the understanding of another person. That is not what we do in the West. We just don't. Maybe they don't in the East. I don't know. I don't live there. I live here. To be sure, I do not want Papa to be dead, but it is unlikely he'd be my friend, except in a sort of mocking, disrespectful sense. Ridicule is a very, very good French film. On the other hand, as a non-believer, I find no difficulty in not killing, as in shalt not, the commandment which every believer has done an inordinate amount of justifying non-adherence to, since it first came down from the mountain. Christian response to heretics was burning alive in public, for not believing like they do. They seem to have eased up on this compulsion, but I am wary. Old habits die hard, or maybe now we just supply the fuel for the fire while saying, we got your back, claiming when the footage gets nasty, we are working to put out the fire you are fueling behind closed doors. That is cunning indeed.